The Galactic Assembly had watched thousands of worlds rise and fall. Wars, revolutions, ascensions, extinctions. They had seen it all. But nothing had prepared them for humanity. When Earth was discovered, the Assembly labeled it as a Death World Class 4, dangerous, unstable, but insignificant. Primitive mammals, still struggling with internal unity, barely spacefaring, not worth attention. Until they colonized Proxima Centauri b. That was the first mistake. Ambassador Velith of Delani sat in the vast, crystalline chamber of the Assembly as the first footage of the Terran conflict played on the central holo display. Over 100 species watched in uneasy silence. The war had started when the Korvax Confederacy, a powerful expansionist race, decided to test humanity's resolve. A minor skirmish over mining rights on Proxima turned into a full-scale invasion. We expected surrender, murmured High Chancellor Grawl, his voice low and brittle. They were outnumbered 12-1, but humans didn't surrender. What followed over the next 45 minutes was raw, unfiltered horror. The recordings weren't just military reports. They were live feeds from Korvax soldiers, orbital satellites, and planetary drones. Humans fought like nothing the galaxy had seen. They used fire when their ammunition ran dry. They used broken weapons as clubs. Civilians strapped explosives to themselves, laughing as they died to take enemy commanders with them. Children ran messages through artillery zones. Scientists weaponized weather. Farmers turned harvesters into killing machines. They fight with rage, whispered Velith, wings trembling. And sorrow, and something else. The Lani were a peaceful race, dreamers, archivists, creators of beauty. They had evolved past violence millennia ago. Watching humans war was like watching a god bleed and smiling through the pain. Then came the orbital reclaiming of soul. When the Terran fleet broke the Korvax blockade around Earth, the display showed a human dreadnought ramming a battleship. 3 times its size, not with missiles. Just pure steel, fire, and will. The audio caught the last transmission from the ship's captain. You stepped on our soil. You took our sky. Now feel our wrath. The assembly chamber was deathly silent. After 18 months, the Korvax lost over 93% of their military forces. The rest surrendered or fled. Entire planets were left glass, melted under human plasma bombs. Not in conquest, but in retaliation. And when humanity won, they didn't demand land or tribute. They demanded silence. No alien hand shall touch Earth again, said General Ayla Stone in her address to the Assembly. We did not ask for war, but we ended it. Remember that? Her eyes were cold, not with hatred, with warning. Years later, the Assembly would try to understand what they had seen. Hundreds of scientists dissected the recordings, trying to decode how a race so young could resist so fiercely and break a galactic power in under 2 years. They studied the battle cries for the fallen. No retreat. This is our home. They reviewed ancient Earth history, Sparta, Stalingrad, Hiroshima, Fallujah. It turned out this was not humanity's first war, that it was just their first interstellar one. Ambassador Velith began to have nightmares. At first, it was flashes of burning cities. Then came the human faces, eyes wide, faces bloody, teeth bared in war cries. And then the silence. In dreams, he stood on Earth's battlefields, scorched, radioactive, littered with steel bones. And somewhere in the distance, a human whispered, "We warned you." He stopped sleeping. So did dozens of others. Not by choice, because every time they closed their eyes, they remembered. Some Assembly members pushed for sanctions. Some called for peace treaties. But most did nothing, because deep down they knew the humans had won, not with superior tech or numbers, but with something terrifyingly alien to the rest of the galaxy. Resolve. They fought not just for territory or resources. They fought because they believed. Losing meant extinction, and in that belief, they became monsters. For survival in the darkness of his private chamber, Velas recorded one final message. We thought them savages. Beasts with tools, but it is we who were naive. We evolved beyond violence. They mastered it. And when they used it, they did not enjoy it, they endured it. And they do not forget. Then he turned off the lights. Not to sleep, he hadn't, in weeks, but to stare into the dark. And somewhere in the stars, the humans watched, quiet, waiting. Not for war, but for someone to try again.